Hello. I believe we're live. Oh yes, there we go. People right away. Ella, also, if you did want to follow along with what's going on in the comments or anything, we have lots of people who come back week after week, which is super sweet. Thank you all for coming back. If you go to YouTube and bring up this live stream, it'll be a little bit delayed, but you can see the comments there if you'd like. Otherwise, I'll keep you posted what's going on. Hello. Welcome back. This is going to be our last Tub Talks for the foreseeable future. I don't know that we won't ever do them again, but I want a bit of a break. I got some stuff I'm working on behind the scenes, so I don't want to have to rip my recording thing apart every week. Really quick, I just want to do a quick land acknowledgement. Both Ella and I, my guests this week, are both located in Edmonton. Oh, I'm getting my own feedback. Oh, that's from you. Sorry. We're both located in Treaty 6 territories. This is Edmonton. That's a Misquachie, traditionally known. And the second thing I'd like to say is that Black Lives Matter is still going on, and it should continue to go on. Black lives still matter. As per usual on this show, we've been taking some of our lovely government basic income CERB money and putting it towards Black Lives Matters Edmonton. That's where all our merch sales have been going for the last couple months. And this week, Ella has chosen Can't Peck Away Win, which is actually also run together or promoted by Black Lives Edmonton. And we'll talk a little bit more about that later. I want to say hello to Sister Ray. This is Ella Coyes, and I know her as a singer-songwriter from Edmonton and a very lovely friend. Ella, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I go by Sister Ray. My name is Ella. People call me Ray all the time, which I think is really funny, or passively Sister, which is also feels very comfortable for strangers. I'm based out of Treaty 6 territory. I've been in so-called Edmonton for the last 5 years, but I grew up on script land just outside of Edmonton.
What is script land?
It's people would be enfranchised, so they would have to leave their reserve, basically, and they would lose their Indian status but gain the right to vote. But it wasn't great, so I grew up on land that my family had from then.
I didn't know that term.
Yeah.
Very cool. Thank you for joining us today. So yeah, I know Ella has put out a record a couple of years ago, and you're a fairly quiet internet person.
Yes.
In terms of, I see the odd things sneak out and I'm like, oh, that's what Ella's up to these days. And the last big thing I heard from you, which I'm sure is not the last big thing, but the last big thing I heard about was you were playing Sled Island last year, which is a tastemaker festival in Calgary, Alberta here. And you were playing with the very popular, very, very Eerie, Mount Eerie, who...
Okay, actually, I should have said this before. That was the year before.
That was 2 years ago, okay.
Last year, I played with Julian Baker.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. The year before, I played with Mount Eerie, which was, amazing.
Right. Do you want to tell us a little bit about either of those shows? I'm really curious. I didn't know about the Julian Baker one. I heard great things about the Mount Eerie show. And maybe even who Mount Eerie is, just for our viewers here who might not know.
Right. So Mount Eerie, also, it's just one person. His name is Phil. He also has a project called The Microphones, which I think was more known in the 90s and early 2000s. There's an album called The Glow that's really good by The Microphones. But Mount Eerie has put out a collection. I think there's 2 or 3 of the most heartbreaking, heart-wrenching albums I've maybe ever heard. About the passing of his wife. Mm-hmm. So, and kind of life after all that happened. So he was touring that record, which the first one was called A Crow Looked at Me. He was touring that one and played at Sled. And it was myself. And then I can't remember the other person that played. It was a couple of years ago, but his first name was Justin. And it was just a great show in this place called Central United Church in Calgary, which is just it's a really beautiful room. You can hear everything that happens, and I feel like when Mount Eerie was playing, it was just a lot of the sounds of like people trying to stifle their crying, which was like felt very it felt like a good and safe space to be really sad, but it was also a fun show because I love the microphones so much and Mount Eerie. So yeah, that was a fun show. And then the next year I opened for Julian, and that was really fun too.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's it's super cool to see you getting those opportunities. I know you're a very, very good songwriter. Thank you, Aiden MP4 Premium. Great name. Okay, talking about your writing. So I actually just really for the first time had a second to thumb through this album that you put out a couple of years ago. It's all algorithms. I'm not trying to not listen to it. It's just, it's hidden from me sometimes. So I went ahead and checked it out, and I was reading about it, and it's saying how you write lots of this stuff as stream of consciousness. So if I'm to understand that as the first things that really come to your brain while you're in a live space too, so you're interacting with the audience, or are these things?
Yeah, so I don't, like, being honest, I haven't done it in quite a long time, or probably like in a year, done a full set that's improvised, just because it's pretty hard. But I would just kind of come into the shows with maybe like a little phrase that I had been thinking about a lot, or maybe a thing that I had written at another show that stuck with me, so then I wanted to play it again, or like a guitar part or something like that. But then I would just kind of go through and figure out the bulk of the lyrics and figure out the arrangement as I went.
That's terrifying to me.
Yep. I really feel like the only reason I could do it is because I just felt like I had like nothing to lose. I was in just not a good place. So I was like, nothing matters.
Wow, what a place to be digging that out of. I didn't expect that. Like,
yeah. So that's how that happened. But it is hard, and I can't really do it like I used to now. Because I actually think it's just because I felt like I had nothing to lose. But now I do feel like I have something to lose, and I wasn't really able to write for a couple years, and now I've been able to write again. So it was kind of like a little coping mechanism thing that turned into an album / kind of like a performance art thing, you know.
It's cool. It worked. So
yeah, we did it.
Yeah, it worked. That's all that really matters. In some ways, that's all that really matters is like, okay, there's this thing people have told me about, like artist brain. And I think people who are like, who have amazing ideas, but don't know how to like bring them to fruition, we lose a lot of like potential and a lot of talent there because people don't know how to bring it to fruition. So it's kind of like the worst thing is having an empty page.
Yeah.
Is something I'm really trying to stick to lately.
Mm-hmm.
So just by being able to go and admit to yourself, okay, I have nothing to lose. I'm going to step up there and do what I know how to do, but figure it out as I go. Like, that's a beautiful thing. It's pretty cool.
It was a fun practice too, because I really believe in, there's this theory by Christopher Small that, and I'm going to botch it because it's an entire textbook essentially on this theory, but it's basically this idea that music only exists as a series of relationships. So it begins to exist once we like play it for other people or someone else hears it. It's just a series of relationships for it to really exist at all. And I really like that idea. And I think that is something that I was thinking about a lot when I first started doing the improvised sets, because I loved that it was coming to fruition in a community setting, and that the way that it existed was so specific to the time and the space and the people that were there, and they had so much to do with why I said what I said or why it sounded the way it sounded, because it was about like the tone of the community there, which was really valuable. And I learned so much about songwriting and performance from that. But it was definitely a roundabout way to do it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So talking about Sister Ray, then on the whole, you told me just before we went live here that you're actually starting to work on a new record. So you started this project in 2016.
Yeah,
Ish.
probably.
I know it's always kind of like, let's set a date that I decided this was a thing.
Like 2016 sounds right enough. I would
That's
say.
what some article I just read said. Let's go with that. But you just told me you're working on something new. So it sounds like it's not going to be the same sort of thing.
No. So I started writing songs again. I got my I got some stuff together so I could.
Your mojo's
Yeah,
back. Yeah.
I figured it out. So I've been writing a bunch again, but yeah, I'm just gonna go do a record this fall.
Cool.
Yeah.
Are there themes? Are there arrangements? Are there partnerships? Is there stuff you're like particularly excited about, or probably just the writing? I'm sure the writing's great, but like what's so exciting about this project?
Well, I guess just being able to write songs again has been really exciting, which I know for, I mean, it doesn't seem that exciting because I would have categorized myself before as a singer-songwriter, but without the songwriting part. So now I'm just actually fulfilling like the title that I've been given, which is singer-songwriter. I'm doing my job finally instead of just singer that plays guitar at shows. But I think something like I've been talking a lot of the songs are about me kind of, I guess, dismantling a lot of my ideas around like how romantic relationships should look, and why I think that they should look that way, or why other people think it should look that way, and my relationship with like men predominantly. Yeah, those have been big things. Like my relationship with yeah, with something like that. Yeah.
Very
But
cool.
we're almost there. And then I have a couple little outliers, as everybody does.
There's
But
always outliers, and sometimes they become very beloved little tunes. I have one that's like truly nonsense, and people seem to like it, so I just go with it. It just sticks around. And that's fun too, because we can really fall. I think especially in isolation, I'm really guilty of like getting really self-serious.
yeah.
So it's nice to just like be playful with the things that we're able to do too, because I don't think people always, it's not always about what people want, but hey, it's handy when people like it.
Mm-hmm.
And to be light is a nice emotion too. I wanted to ask you, okay, so you're working on a record. Will you be doing that in Toronto?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Would you move to like tomorrow?
It feels like tomorrow in like 4 weeks. I haven't booked my yet, but pretty close. Like first week of September, I'm heading out. So getting close. I have so much I have to do still, but
that's cool. I love Toronto. I've never been in the summer, and I think it's just like sweltering heat.
It's so hot and so humid. It is unbelievable. I feel everybody in Alberta thinks that they're so hot here right now, and we are wrong.
No, it's like 4 days. That's all we get is like 4 days of it. So actually right now, I'm just showing people out my little bathroom window, which I'm so grateful to have, except that people can definitely see me pooping. I have this lovely little window back here. Whatever, you can't see it. And yeah, it's like maybe going to crack 30 degrees today, which we have lots of people watching us and listening from the States. I don't know if you knew this. Part of the reason why I'm doing this whole thing in the first place is my younger brother is a YouTuber. He's an animator here, and we've shared a little fan base here. And so then we have lots of people watching from the States, which I think is really fun. But then sometimes I feel like I have to break down Canadian things.
Right.
Yeah. Yes, Jusong, thank you for tuning in from Edmonton. My good pal Jusong's always on here. Maybe did we want to trade a song back and forth? I have a song that's like not really about too much, and I could play that before or after. But if you have something that's ready for us, I'd love to hear it, new or old.
Sure. Also, I just Googled this for anybody in the States. 35 Celsius is 95 Fahrenheit.
I don't think we hit 35. That's like, we'd be dying.
That's what it's like in Toronto.
Yeah, definitely.
It's
Yeah.
like 35. We're like 5 degrees less than that.
Thanks for Googling
I keep
that.
on forgetting where I am, to be honest with you. I feel like it's 86 Fahrenheit plus 30 is. I guess I'll talk about it a little bit before I play it. I have to learn how to do this again.
The stage is yours.
The song, I don't think any of these songs really have titles yet. I'm relearning again how to be like a songwriter. So the titling thing, taking it slow. Don't want to dedicate yet, but I wrote this song. Someone made an Instagram post, and it was just someone being like, here's something that you should ask yourself maybe more often. And it was, do you seek justice or your own comfort? And I ended up thinking about it a lot and putting it all over my living spaces. And so I wrote a song about it.
Cool.
Yeah. And it goes like this. Is that guitar loud enough?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think loud enough, yes, for sure. I'm hoping I can hear your voice as loud. Nice.
Heart is rising, there's a baby here. Would somebody close their ears? They have a lifetime to live in fear. We have just been hiding. So give me money I won't ever need, more than I have ever seen. I'm just like everybody thinks I'm exempt and weak. Do I seek justice or merely my own comfort? Do I seek justice or merely my own comfort? Do I seek justice or merely my own comfort? Fighting battles from another's bed. All I really wanted was rest. Couldn't do enough to earn my bread. I was complicit. I just wanna make my body clean. Let the water wash over me. I don't mind the burning if it makes me pristine. Do I seek justice or merely my own comfort? Do I seek justice or merely my own comfort? Do I seek justice or merely my own comfort? Do I seek justice or merely my own comfort?
Nice. Do you think it'll be weird if we ever get to hear live applause again?
Yeah, I think about it pretty often.
I tuned in last night. I was like, okay, the whole idea of sports coming back, pretty mature, a little dangerous,
Yeah.
but guilty pleasure as well. I was like, well, yeah, okay, it's happening. I'm gonna watch a little bit of it. So last night there was Calgary and Edmonton played, and there was no audience, and they just like tarp over all the seats.
Yeah.
It kind of sucked.
You
Not, I watched like 10 minutes of it. I watched like part of the first period, and I was like, there's nobody, like there's no, it's not the same of your performance or about performances, but it's weird, you know, there's no energy coming back to you. And
I
it
know.
sounds fluffy if you're not a performer or somebody like feeds off of energy as part of your job.
Yeah.
But
Like,
it's really
100%.
strange.
That's what the thing about how like I was making music that I felt was really community oriented before, even though I'm not doing the improvised stuff, it is so weird. Like it just feels so strange. But I've been like strongly considering getting like an applause sample that I can put on my MIDI keyboard somewhere random that I like maybe wouldn't use very often, just so I could like surprise myself every once in a while. I'll just be like, yes.
That's cool.
Good job.
You're getting Julia Jacqueline vibes as a comment.
Checks out.
And lots of great little multicolored hands.
Thanks everybody. So. Very nice. It's been a bit since I've had even like this chat is really nice compared.
Oh yeah, we're here to build you up today. It's a great little community. I'm super grateful for these people, mostly strangers who just come back every week. It's about 43.3 degrees Celsius for me right now in the States. That sounds hot. Tuning in.
Hi, sorry, 1 second. You just kind of cut out for me. Nope. I know how to do this. Do I want to play a song? Can nobody hear you?
No. Oh,
I can hear you now.
It's just my old laptop. It just cries. It cries sometimes. It dies. It crashes and dies. It's happened like 3 times over all of these streams, which is like a bad thing. I'm just like waiting for it to happen. Okay, you can hear me though?
I can hear you now.
Okay, cool. Well, it's almost like I didn't have to play this song, but now I do. It's super simple. I think I write really simply, and I just try to keep what I'm trying to say concise. And this song, right now, I guess it's called "How Could I Ever Compare," and it's sort of about an anxiety dream where I wake up and a partner has mysteriously died while I was sleeping, and it just, but it's not too heavy, I don't think. We'll just get into it. Film still on my teeth if you want to come over. I've spilled a few lines out on the paper. I'm not a writer, it's to live without armor, but I had a dream. You painted the streets with all of your flavors, burnt cherry lipstick and aloe deodorant. Nobody cares, you stopped shaving your legs. If anything now, we just like that you're comfortable. Please, for a moment, just let me share. How could one ever compare? You cough in the bathroom, I worry you're not coming back. I'd fall asleep, find you out in the hallway. The ambulance comes, I'd give them my statement. I'm not sure what to tell you, but thanks for your time. The coroner comes to pick up your body, take you to the party, and leave me alone. I'd cry, call my sister and tell her I'd lost you. She'd ask who you were to me and where had I gone. Please, for a moment, just let me share. How could one ever compare? I know that she worries, my mind is not stable. Maybe my mind's not stable, my mind is not stable. But now that I'm wasted at your dining room table, is all the time wasted if my mind's not stable. I have my lyrics here, I get to see them. Please, for a moment, just let me share. How could that ever be fair? How could one ever compare? It's a sketch.
Yay.
Thank you.
That's like a very chill way to talk about somebody dying.
I'm kind of sick of trying to talk about somebody dying. It was kind of that sounds insensitive, but you know what? That's my experience, and the whole first record I put out was largely about my good friend, who I'm sure you knew, Luke passing away, and I really realized I don't always have like the capacity to talk heavily about things, and so it's more just about stating what's going on in my brain. I'm like, that's the beauty of it. He's realizing that people aren't always about being big and poetic and deep. It's just like, these are things that are happening. I just need to tell you about them. So that's where that's at.
I feel you on that. So that like album that I did was the same thing. I was like talking about one thing pretty specifically that was like a really intense part of my life, and I was writing about it so much. And like I feel like also a lot of my brand was built around that at first. Like I had like a bunch of just like press done about it and stuff, and I know like the thing that happened with for you and with Luke, that was like such a big public thing, you know, like it, like everybody around you knew about that. And I think that for me, I felt like a lot of pressure for a while to write about it. And I get asked all the time now, like, oh, like, is this what you're writing about? Like, you should be writing about this. This is like a good thing to be writing about. People are really going to care about it, or like it's going to help people. And I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. And I just think that like one's capacity runs out to talk about stuff like that in a way. And I just think you get better, like, as you know, like that stuff.
Yeah, like, are we allowed? Exactly.
Yeah, like
heal and continue moving forward, which brings me back.
Breathing is like being able to like move on and exist as a person.
Definitely.
Not have your whole life be circled around shit like that all the time.
Which is why I'd point everybody back to the Mount Eerie again, right? What's that song? It's one of the big songs. And he's saying like, okay, I lost my dead wife, and now that all that's left is merchandise. And I'm like, wow, that is so on the nose. That is so on the nose. And he's not trying to, I don't think he's trying to pull a heartstring there. He's just trying to be honest about what's going on and how you deal with things. And if it's important to you, whether it's your job or not, to express yourself and be honest about your feelings.
Yeah.
That's how it's going to be. And you don't know how people are going to react to that. Do people want me to be sad? Do people want me to be this? Do people want me to be that? Building a brand, it's kind of fucked.
Yeah, well, then it gets into a weird place where it's like,
Definitely.
you've done one thing, so you're kind of expected to do it again, and it's like that's your thing, and that's what people like about you, and so there's also a pressure to continue doing that thing.
Yeah.
When people are like, oh my god, like that really helped, like that was so relatable, and all those things are good, but I also just think like, how relatable is it if I was stuck in that place for 5 more years? Like that wouldn't be relatable. That would just be like unfortunate, and I wouldn't be taking care of myself or my mental health if I was still writing about those things now, or in like 5 years. And I think it's like a cool way for people to grow with us in that, and finding it maybe relatable or important at the time that we put it out, and then growing and being able to write about different things or other things or in a different way than we were able to when all that stuff was going on, you know?
Yeah, it's crazy to have to show your growth, you know.
Yeah.
It's a hard thing to do. Somebody asked me not that long ago, okay, well, we get it, that's what that was about, what do you stand for now? I'm like, oh no, like I have to have a post like that to stand and die on. And, you know, we're talking about writing grants, which I've said over a couple Tub Talks. Canadian music industry is, we live and die by grant funding, which I'm very grateful for. I hope it continues under this terrible provincial government. But yeah, it's like, what is your artistic vision? What do you see? What is your whole overarching theme that you can tell us about right now? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm just trying to live. This is just what I do, you know, like this is just what I want to do. It's tricky.
Yeah.
It was in a box.
Yeah. Writing this last grant for the record. And then did you write one of those Creators Reserve grants?
No, I didn't.
I wrote one of those, and they had a question. It was just kind of, you needed to write about what you were doing and what you were making. And I wanted to talk about the music that I was writing, and the content. And I know, like, we briefly also talked about this, but it's really hard to say, like, what I've been writing about, because I guess it's underneath those umbrellas, but who's to say, you know?
It's retrospective. You kind of look back on it and you go, oh, that's what I was doing.
Yeah, exactly.
Figuring it out.
I need to be like, okay, here's the record, here are all the songs concretely, and then I can look at it and think, I guess this is where I was at over the whatever period of time that I've been writing it for.
Yeah.
But it's so hard to do it when you're in it, because I don't feel like I'm writing about something. It's just the events of my life. Yeah. That I'm then just trying to process at the time that it's happening, because that's what it is. Yeah.
They're like, show us the whole movie and then we might give you funding for it. And I'm like,
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. So that's our life right now. And don't worry, we have all the time in the world right now to just sit and worry about that. That's what I do. I wanted to ask you, kind of as we're closing up here, what have you been doing? What have you been spending all your time doing? If not just taking sorry, I saw a tweet. You posted something like, oh, all I'm doing is looking back through my photos and playing guitar. And I thought that was really nice. But what have you been doing? Are you reading things? You're writing? Are you watching thing? Are you biking or something? I don't know.
I have been playing guitar a lot. I've been practicing a lot. I'm trying to learn how to use Ableton.
Oh, nice. That's what I use. I'm not great at it, but I'm getting better.
Unsuccessful, but I'm like fine if I use Logic, but I just really find Ableton appealing. And I bought a MIDI keyboard off of a guy, James, nice. And he really sold Ableton to me in this like Harvey's parking lot in 5 minutes. So I was like, man, I do have to get better at Ableton. So I've been
pretty powerful.
James from Kijiji really convinced me that it would be helpful as well. So
you might have tweeted about this too. I think I saw that.
I retweeted it. Oh, I did tweet about James from Kijiji.
Twitter, like, Harvey's parking lot. This guy really turned my day around.
Twitter is the only social media platform I like to post on, and I post nothing about my career or what's really going on in my life. So
I consider it a stream of consciousness place.
But other than that, I've been reading. Oh, I took on my quarantine challenge / I can't move with a book this big. I've been reading Infinite Jest because
I read that this last year. I know that's like I read it, but I get it.
I've been trying for years and I haven't been able to do it. So I decided, I can't move with a book that is that obnoxiously large.
Yeah. And
I have time, so I want to read it. That being said, I did just take a break to read The Edible Woman by Margaret Atwood, which was great.
Okay.
I've been working still a little bit. I clean houses, so I do that.
Really? That's cool. Yeah. I can't find work doing anything right now.
Well, I clean people's houses, and
cool.
That's pretty much it. I don't work that much, but I've been working a little bit. But yeah, mostly just like practicing, trying to spend a lot of time outside. I've been listening to more music than I've listened to in so long. I got like deep into Steve Reich recently, so
I
that
don't know who that is. Steve Reich.
I'll send it to you after.
Okay.
It's like I was listening to it and I took one of my headphones off to tell my mom it was actively changing my life while I was listening to it, and I feel serious about that.
That's big. That's a big sell. Okay.
Yeah, but that's what I've been doing pretty much, and figuring out how to move across the country in a pandemic safely, responsibly, and in a way that doesn't end me. So
Yeah, fair. Are you gonna drive it?
no, I'm gonna fly.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna fly and then quarantine. So
Oh yeah, the fresh quarantine. I had to do the for real whole quarantine thing back in March.
I recall because you were with Eli, and
That's
I
right.
recall
Yeah.
quarantine too. Yeah.
Yeah, Eli and the two other bandmates left early, which was a smart call. I ended up getting coronavirus. Didn't really do anything to me. Yeah, it didn't really do anything. I couldn't smell or taste anything though, and I think it's still like I think it caused some nerve damage or something. Because I find there's days where I can like taste and smell like normal, and then there's other days where I'm like, this is just my life now.
Did it mess up your hearing at all?
No, I've never heard that.
No, I just thought because it's like it has to do with your sinuses and stuff with your hearing, like with your smelling and your tasting. If maybe it could have affected your hearing or something as well.
No, that's a new fear to worry about. But no, so far so good. So far so good. But they left. Those guys left. Eli was our drummer on our tour, and they left on Friday after we were done almost all of our commitments there. And then, which actually is a great segue to the thing I should talk about in a second here. We were done pretty much everything, and they were like, hey, it's kind of getting dicey. We're going to take off. And my manager, Liam, and I were like, we're never in New York. We were invited to play a festival here. Like, we're sticking it out. We don't, we'll be careful, and we think everything will probably be okay. We were wrong. By Sunday, everything was shut down. It was a ghost town. It was really creepy. I'd never been to New York, and to see it go from like full livelihood to shut down, I was very stressed.
Yeah.
And I ended up getting sick. Not a good time. But the one thing we didn't get to do, and this is a plug for a second here, the one thing we didn't get to do was we were set to record some live sessions where they cut them straight to vinyl. I think this is a great idea for you as well. It's called Lista Vol. And it's this little record label thing in New York, and they take artists from wherever and they come in for sessions and cut songs to order to records that people order. Now they've changed it to do shut-in sessions where you're doing it at home. And it was amazing Ableton practice for me because I just recorded like 40 songs for people. So people pay whatever, 15 or 20 US bucks.
Yeah.
And then you just got to sit at home and record these songs over and over and put a little message in them. And what my plug is the orders for those are unfortunately done, but I have 5 unclaimed ones, and I'm going to put them up on my website, and we'll just donate whatever we make on those to Black Lives Matter Edmonton or to Camp Peckaway. But yeah, I made a couple extras. So if anybody out there wants to buy those, I will put those up on my website in the next few days, or even better yet, just send me a DM or something, and I could still record it with your name in it or something. But yeah, LS, definitely something for you to check out as well. And it was a great reason for me to practice my DAW.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah.
After.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. And you could make money off of it too if that was a thing that we needed. Sometimes we need to survive as well. That was really all I had planned for you today. Is there anything else you want to talk about or promote, or anything you want to say?
If you're located in Edmonton, or even if you're not located in Edmonton, and you look up Camp Peckaway on Instagram, you can go there like in search of like small toiletries, hand sanitizer, blankets, clothes, shoes, like pillows. I know if you go on their Instagram, they give like some guidelines about what they're looking for right now and what can be used and what should probably be new and all that jazz. But you can go in Edmonton, like wear your mask, be safe, but go bring some stuff, volunteer your time if you have the time.
There is always welcome.
And if you're not in Edmonton, and you like check out their Instagram and you feel like you want to do something other than this, they have a donation link just to send the money. So yeah, that's my plug.
Awesome. And that's where we'll be sending our $100 of CERB money today to, I have that spelled out, by the way, in the description here, as well as a link to Ella's Bandcamp, to Sister Ray. So you can check out her first record from late 2017 and make sure you follow her, and you'll be able to see what goes on when she gets around to releasing that second record.
Instagram again.
Sorry?
Try to start posting on Instagram again.
Okay, Instagram would be great. So yeah, definitely go check out Sister Ray on anything that you can, especially Bandcamp. That's the best way to support us directly. And Camp Pekawewin, it's spelled out for you in the description. Maybe we should leave it there?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, thanks everybody so much. And maybe we'll see you in a month or two. I do really like doing these. They just kind of, I just want to use my bathtub sometimes, you know? So we'll see you soon. Thank you so much for coming to Tub Talks. Goodbye.
Bye.
And